This will be the first time that I've done a video like this on my channel where I pick a channel and I pick a video from that channel that I've never looked at and I do it completely without editing. I'm not going to edit this video. Even if I make mistakes, I'm not going to edit it. The reason I picked this channel, Meidas Touch Network, and the reason I picked this video is because Meidas Touch Network has an extremely large reach. If you'll take a look at this just yesterday, or is this today? This is Thursday. This is today. They've already got 12 million views today. Most channels don't get 12 million views in 10 years. They got 12 million views in the last 24 hours, according to Social Blade. They're averaging 7 million views a day, 49 million the last week, and 213, over 200 million video views. And people like this. They keep coming back and they keep subscribing to this channel. So I want to pick this channel right here because a lot of people respond positively to it. And this is the Democrat side of the left versus right paradigm lie. These are the Democrat propagandists. They've literally sold their souls for clicks and views to try to continue to instill in every single American and people throughout the world that there's this thing called authority and rule of law and a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And it is utter nonsense. Why is it nonsense? Because there's no such thing as authority, a true, legitimate authority. There's no such thing as somebody who has the right to rule you. That's what government is. Government is control, governo and mentis, to control the mind. So people in government want to control you against your will and without your consent. And that's what authority is. There are people who believe they have the right to rule you and that you have the obligation to obey their rulership, Democrat or Republican, it scarcely matters. And they believe that you are rightly punished if you disobey their laws, which is nothing more, nothing less than the opinions of politicians backed by the threat of force. Now, if you'll notice, they've already got tons of video views today. Let me minimize myself here. And this one was uploaded 3 hours ago. Already has 406,000 views. 5 hours ago, 415,000 views. 6 hours ago, right here, got 380,000 views. Now, it took me a second to set up this video right here. So it's got 79,000 views in 57 minutes. So when we click on it, it's going to have more than 79,000 views. But we're going to take a look at this. We're going to work through it. And we're going to see what this guy says as he tries to play the left versus right dog and pony show on us. He's going to try to pull the wool over our eyes. Wittingly or unwittingly, they have decided to participate in this political parasitic game. Let's listen to this.
So think of it.
All right, so now they have 96,000 views. Let's go over here. I don't know if you can see this. 96,467. So we've started at 96,500 views as we start this video. So as we work through this, we're going to watch him. Sometimes they rightly condemn and criticize Donald Trump, and sometimes they just go way overboard. And at other times, as they're criticizing Donald Trump, you can lay the same criticism on a Joe Biden or a Kamala Harris or an AOC or any of those Democrats. Okay, let's listen to this.
They get me to that position, and then their campaign says, I'm the prosecutor, and he is the convicted felon. That's their campaign. I don't think people are going to buy it.
So where is Harris doing? Where does Harris have more support than Biden had? Look among black voters. She's doing 8 points better than Joe Biden was in April and June. This, of course, Harris poll being in July. How about Hispanic voters? She's doing 6 points better among Hispanic voters.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Where are Hispanic voters and black voters, a large portion of the population in those key swing states? Well, it's in the Sun Belt, right? Let's look among black voters, right? Nationally, they make up about 12% of the vote. In North Carolina, look at this. This, of course, is where Donald Trump.
So in condemning Donald Trump, they're going to go to a counterfeit news network or a Clinton news network or a communist news network poll. And this guy right here, we've seen him before. We've done a couple of videos on him before. CNN completely dishonest. Now, does that mean at all times, in all places, they don't tell the truth? They're always lying? No, they have to mix the truth with the lie so that the propaganda can go down a little bit more easily to those who might be just a little bit more discerning.
Was yesterday.
By the way, the name of this video from Meidas Touch Network is Trump Panics After Devastating Poll Shows Kamala Surge.
They make up 21% of the vote. How about in Georgia? 34%. Of course, the Hispanic vote. Very important in the Southwest, right? Nationally, Hispanic voters only make up 10% of all voters. But look in Arizona, 21%, Nevada, 19%. And of course, these were the states, Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, North Carolina, that Democrats have been wanting to put into play, but the Joe Biden campaign had pretty much given up on. But given that Kamala Harris is doing better with black and Hispanic voters, they believe that they can put Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, and Nevada back into play.
And he is the convicted felon. That's their campaign. I don't think people are going to buy it.
For anyone that doesn't speak incoherent diatribe, I've looked her up and I think this translates to projection. You know, like when you have a convicted felon stand in front of his cult followers and brandish his political opponent as a criminal.
You're not.
I mean, it's funny and it's sad all at the same time. But when somebody like this, let's go back to him. When somebody like this calls the other side a cult and Donald Trump's followers cult followers, you can say the exact same thing about the followers of Obama. The exact same things about the followers of Hillary or a Bill Clinton or a Kamala Harris or even a Michelle Obama. Every one of these people who are believing the nonsense and the lies and the fairy tales of authority and the legitimacy of government are following a cult and a cult leader. You've got two major cults. You've got the Democrat Party and the Republican Party, and yet they are really the uniparty, as these people right here are trying to foment division against one another. They know this incites emotion. They know this grates on the nerves of people who are MAGA. MAGA knows it grates on the nerves of the libtards, they call them. And yet when you get right down to it, Joe Biden's policies and Donald Trump's policies and soon to be Kamala Harris's policies and Obama's policies all work for the positive and the profit and the power of the international banking cartel and the elites who actually pull the strings of what's going on. And by the pulling the strings, I mean, you know, sometimes they make an appearance and sometimes they make an appearance in Congress. And yesterday, the guy who made an appearance in Congress to how many dozens of long standing ovations? Benjamin Netanyahu, who's pulling the strings of Congress? But these people won't mention that.
And stand in front of his cult followers and brandish his political opponent as a criminal.
You're not going to teach a criminal not to be a criminal. It's just not going to happen. Maybe a little bit, but you're not going to happen.
Yeah, we tried to get irony on the phone, but they were not available for comment. Today, Vice President Harris dropped her first campaign ad, and well, it was a banger.
The freedom not just to get by, but get ahead. The freedom to be safe from gun violence. The freedom to make decisions about your own body. We choose a future where no child lives in poverty, where we can all afford health care, where no one is above the law. We believe in the promise of America, and we're ready to fight.
So just off the top, she already mentioned anti-Second Amendment rhetoric, anti-Fourth Amendment rhetoric. She's talking about wealth redistribution programs where everybody can afford health care. Well, how does the government supply that? The government can't supply, and I'm talking about Republican or a Democrat party, a Democrat government or a Republican government. They can't supply anything to anybody that they first didn't steal from somebody else. So when you're promoting Democrat, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, or you're promoting Republican, J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, you are actually promoting large-scale theft of the American people and wealth redistribution. Period. And that's what I mean by you sold your soul, because you've moved off of principle. It's the principled person who doesn't steal from anybody else and doesn't want anybody else to steal on his behalf, who doesn't want people harmed, who doesn't want property stolen, who doesn't want to see a person painted out as a criminal when he's not, just because he owns an AK-47 or an AR-15 or high-capacity magazines. That's why I say they've sold their soul. When you move away from principle, you move away from morality and doing that which is right by pushing that which is absolutely wrong.
For it. Because when we fight, we win. So join us. Go to KamalaHarris.com and let's get to work.
And this comes...
Sorry, I didn't see a banger. It wasn't a banger video. It was a video riddled with lies. absolute propaganda, which is public relations, which is another word for lying.
In the wake of Trump's first rally since Kamala Harris emerged as a Democratic frontrunner, and it was everything one would come to expect. There were enough lies to fill Daniel Dale's schedule for a week.
It was a remarkably long acceptance speech, Jake, and a remarkably dishonest acceptance speech.
But also an increased dose of hypocrisy, which, is hard to accomplish considering the subject.
By the way, that same guy that he just mentioned from CNN also talked about the 8 or 9 lies that Biden told up on the debate stage. There were supposed to be like 28 from Trump's side and 8 or 9 from Biden's side. It's like, oh, if you lie 28 times, that's unacceptable, Trump. But if you lie only 8 or 9 times, Biden, we'll accept you. Talk about cruddy human beings. Talk about demoralizing yourself.
She shouldn't even be allowed to run for president. What she's done, she's committing crimes. So think of it. They get me to that position, and then their campaign says, I'm the prosecutor, and he is the convicted felon. That's their campaign. I don't think people are going to buy it.
But this wasn't enough, right? So after the clear momentum shift across the board in favor of the vice president, Trump had to retreat to his favorite echo chamber to boost his ego. So he called into Fox Phone a Friend to complain about Harris saying she'd gladly put her record against his, which...
Well, yeah, he's right. Fox News is an echo chamber for Donald Trump. And then when he criticizes them, they come back in line. Newsmax is an echo chamber for Trump, but MSDNC is an echo chamber for the Democrats. But he won't talk about that because he's here to make money on clicks and views as he continues to foment the division, as he continues to be the distraction, as he continues to pour fuel on the demoralization campaign that is politics, left versus right politics.
In the wake of this recent poll conducted by CNN shows that when those records do go head to head, it seems that the people are buying it, Donald.
So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. And in this campaign, I promise you, I will proudly put my record against his any day of the week.
As the attack, what's the retort?
Well, I think it's disgusting, and I get a kick out of one thing. They say, sir, be nice. You just got hit with a bullet. Maybe he's changed. Be nice. And I'd love to be nice, but I'm dealing against real garbage. When you hear that, they've weaponized the justice system against me.
Now, aside from this glaring...
Now, let me go ahead and criticize Trump there. He didn't say anything substantial. You know what he could have said, but he can't? Because he's just as much, if not more, against guns than Obama was and that Kamala will be. He can't say, you know what? If there was only one thing that I have against Kamala Harris, that's enough to disqualify her as the president of the United States, which is supposed to be governed by the supreme law of the land, and that's the Second Amendment. She's anti-gun. She wants to ban your guns, AK-47, AR-15, high-capacity magazines, on and on. But he can't say that because he was pro-red flag law, extreme risk protection orders. He sat next to Dianne Frankenstein and said, I don't know, Mike. I like take the guns first, due process second. That is an absolute trampling of shall not be infringed. He can't say that to Kamala. There's no substantive thing that he can say against Kamala because if he launches an accusation against her, it comes back to him because he's a hypocrite. And he and all the Republicans and all the other Democrats do the exact same thing, running this country into the ground as they make record profits for the international banking cartel, for the big pharma industrial complex, for the military industrial complex, for the prison industrial complex. This is WWE, and these people are part of the promotion campaign.
Portrayal of a man running scared, which was validated when the RNC chair was asked point blank on Fox, of all places, if Trump would even debate Kamala, to which he spent 45 seconds saying a lot of words while simultaneously avoiding the question.
Will there be a
Which is exactly what Kamala Harris does.
debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, or can you answer that today?
What I would say is this. The president has been very clear that he welcomes debates, that he wants to have the conversation with the American people because he wants to communicate directly with the American people about the contract.
All right, he already said it. He said it within the first 10 seconds. We welcome debate. Okay, so what's this guy talking about? Not this guy, but the guy who's on Meidas Touch.
Between 4 years under the Biden-Harris administration and the 4 years under his administration, and the fact that he is the only candidate that is in a position to unite this country, to be able to restore our southern border, restore our economy, and restore our standing in the world.
So is that a maybe or is that a no?
Look, I think that the president has made it very clear that he is willing to debate anywhere, anytime, any place. And we will wait and see what the details are as they get put together.
Now, I don't know why they don't just say yes and no. Yeah, it's a yes. Of course, he'll debate anywhere, anytime, anywhere. I'll tell you what, let's do it tonight. You know, there are a lot of words in politics, a lot of unnecessary words.
Has also admitted his true feelings regarding Project 2025. Finally, this after firstly claiming that he had no idea about it, then that he had no idea but disagreed with it, to now that there's a...
Yeah, clearly, Trump is lying. Trump is lying. And you know, the creator, one of the people who spearheaded 2025, Project 2025, actually said that he's glad that Trump is denying it because that's a strategy. He's employing a strategy. And of course, lying and deception and obfuscation is a strategy in politics. It's a continual 24-hour a day, 7-day a week strategy.
Few fine points.
They keep on tying you, whether it's yesterday's testimony when they were talking to Christopher Wray or whether it's Kamala Harris on the stump. They keep on tying you to Project 2025, which is a 900-page tome put out by the Heritage Foundation. What is your response to what's in it, and what would you like to say about the role it's playing in your campaign?
It's a group of very, very conservative people. They wrote a document that many of the points are fine. Many of the points are absolutely ridiculous. I have nothing to do with the document. I've never seen the document. I've seen certain things that are said in it. And it's a group of very conservative people that probably like me, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't speak for me. They wrote something that I disagree with in many cases, and in some cases you agree. But it's like a group of radical left people that write something, and, you know, people get angry by it. This is a document I know nothing about. It's called Project 25. I heard about it a week ago.
If he knows nothing about it, how can he disagree with anything in it or accept certain things that are in it? And if I was a journalist, if you were a journalist, wouldn't the first question you would ask after you got done talking is, okay, now what are some of the things that you disagree with in it? Well, give us 3 things you agree with and give us 3 things you disagree with. But he says he's not familiar with it. But he says he's familiar enough to accept some things and reject others. Trump is clearly lying. Trump is clearly a liar, but name me one politician who's not. That's what they do, and that's what politics is all about. And don't sit there and get offended when I say that Trump is a liar. And if you get offended about that, and if you Biden supporters and Harris supporters get offended when I say that they're liars, I can only tell you, you are immersed in such deep levels of swampy cognitive dissonance, I don't even know what to tell you. How can it come as a shock to you to realize that Trump is a liar and has always been a liar? And Biden and Harris are all, and Obama and Bush, they're all freaking liars.
And has nothing to do with me whatsoever. But of course, our friends that are Democrats, radical left Democrats, they take the document, which is, I guess, pretty big and thorough, and they scour through it. And anything that's bad in there or that's a little bit less than mainstream, they take it and they make a big deal out of it. Donald Trump and Project...
That's true, too. What he just said there is true also.
25. Are you ready? I know nothing about Project 25. I haven't seen the document. I don't intend to really see the document. And it's a group of people that got together that wrote some kind of a dream document for them.
Now, why would you not desire to see a document that hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people are pinning on you? You know he's seen the document. Come on, man.
It has absolutely nothing to do with me. And it's just disinformation, Brian, by the Democrats. It's pure disinformation.
So, Mr. President...
Narrator's note for those not familiar with Project 2025. It's a blueprint for a theocracy orchestrated by no less than 140 former Trump aides and advisors. So if you believe he has no idea what's in it, or that there's just a few areas that tickle his fancy, I have a great $60 God Bless America Bible that you'd like.
But we are clear-eyed as we work to build a brighter future and to move our nation forward.
By the way, I agree with what he just said there. He's right. Just like a broken clock is right twice a day.
There are those who are really trying to take us backward. And you, I'm sure, have seen their agenda. Project 2025. Randy, can you believe they put that thing in writing?
How about Project Ban Assault Weapons? How about Project Gun Safety Regulations? Can you believe they put that in writing? Oh my God, it's clearly against shall not be infringed. Can you believe that? These people are such hypocrites. You want to implement Project 2025? You want to criminalize the tens of millions of people who owns AR-15s and AK-47s and high-capacity magazines? Can you believe it? They put that in writing? But these people at the Meidas Touch aren't going to say anything negative about their Democratic cult leaders.
900 pages in writing. So Project 2025 is a plan to return America to a dark past. Donald Trump and his extreme allies want to take our nation back to failed trickle-down economic policies.
Wait a second. Failed trickle-down economic policies. Trump has the same trickle-down economic policies as the Democrats. It's called Keynesian economics. They're not operating from the springboard of Austrian economics, sound free market economics. They're looking for a top-down government-controlled economics under Keynesian economics.
Back to union busting. Back to tax breaks for billionaires. Donald Trump and his allies want to cut Medicare and Social Security. To stop student loan forgiveness for teachers and other public servants. And I say to AFT, they even want to eliminate the Department of Education.
You mean the failed Department of Education that's producing the worst educated kids on the planet almost? You mean that Department of Education that wastes boatloads and boatloads of money? How many trillions of dollars has the Department of Education wasted over the last, say, 40 years? Can we get that money back?
And end Head Start, which of course would take away preschool from hundreds of thousands of our children. He intends to give tax breaks to...
So basically, what Head Start and all these other programs, they're funded by extorting some people and giving the benefits to other people. That is wealth redistribution. That's Keynesian economics. That's not free market economics. So that's the government meddling in the affairs they shouldn't be meddling in, making things worse. Quality goes down. Kids are less educated. And the budget goes through the roof. And then we wake up one morning and we got $36 trillion in debt. Plus, counting unfunded liabilities, it's almost $220 trillion in debt. It's called transgenerational debt slavery. And everything that she just mentioned, she's basically saying we've got to steal the wealth of the masses so that we can pretend like we're the saviors. And that's what government's all about. And that's what these government agents do. And that's what these government propagandists like Meidas Touch, as popular as they are, that's what they set about doing, is hoodwinking the simple minds of the masses. It's easier, my friends, to deceive the masses than to convince them that they've been deceived. And Meidas Touch knows it, and they're cashing in on it.
Billionaires and big corporations and make working families foot the bill. And he intends to end the Affordable Care Act. Now think about that. To take us back...
The Unaffordable Care Act. Remember the Affordable Care Act? Remember, healthcare.gov was crashed and it cost... How many, not thousands, not millions or tens of millions or hundreds of millions, how many billions of dollars did it cost for healthcare.gov that didn't work for the longest time? Government just throwing money out the window.
To a time when insurance companies had the power to deny people with pre-existing conditions. Remember what that was like? Children with asthma, women who survived breast cancer,
I'm speeding this up to 1.5 times because I ain't got time for this stuff.
Parents with diabetes. America has tried these failed economic policies before, but we are not going back. We are not going back.
But here's what we know, right? These attacks will only be ramped up the more that Kamala Harris's campaign picks up steam. And boy, is it picking up steam considering her speech today. So of course, it's no surprise that Trump retreated to the safety of Fox News, the very network that yesterday host described Kamala visiting a, quote, colored sorority. Yes, in 2024, this happened.
She will not show up for the Prime Minister's joint session of Congress today. She'd rather address in the summer a sorority, a college sorority. Like she can't get out of that.
Say it. Say what? Say the word you want to say. I'm not saying that I want to say it. I'm just saying that I can't. So you can. Say it. Say it right now. I will say it with you.
Okay, this is hypocritical. You know we can't.
Sure you can. This is America. Both of you. Say it. All right, I think we can move on. Why move on when you want to say it? Both of you want to say it. Huh?
And one host, apparently...
I've never seen that. That's hilarious. That is so funny. So, leftist media said that Kamala Harris is going to be speaking at an all-black get-together. So what's the difference? So they use the word black, but other people can't use the word colored? Is that the idea here? And that you can't say that you're banned, that you're prohibited from saying any word is a violation of another supreme law of the land called the First Amendment, freedom of speech. Why wouldn't you be free to say any word that you want?
Described the vice president as the original hot tour girl. And yes, he's still employed.
Yeah, and then there's the DEI press secretary telling you that the DEI vice president is the future of the party here. And so the future looks kind of dim for the Democrats here, but this is no shocker either. Kamala Harris, she's the original hot tour girl. That's the way she got where she is. And the party's going downhill if it's in her hands.
That was tough.
So what this shows is that when everything else fails and they're scared shitless, they'll retreat to good old-fashioned racism and misogyny. An indicator that the tide has...
So that's what they wanted. They want to construct a narrative where Fox News and the conservatives and Donald Trump, they're scared. Look, even in the title, they're panicking. They're in full-on panic mode after the devastating poll numbers have just gone out. Hey, the Republicans are doing the exact same thing. The Kamala Harris campaign is in panic mode because Donald Trump's going to chew her up and spit her out at the next debate. It's just, this is dog and pony. This is smokescreen, smoke and mirrors, funny mirrors under the big top in this three-ring circus. And Meidas Touch is a big part of packing those people in the tent.
Undoubtedly shifted, and they can't handle it.
Love this video? Make sure...
No, didn't love this video. I actually hated this video. And look, let me just show you something else here. Let me see if I can go off screen a little bit. Yeah, let me show you this. Dave Pakman is another one, another leftist. Dave Pakman, 3 hours ago, 499,000 views. Look at this right here. Trump's brain collapses, confuses Kamala and Nikki Haley, but didn't make a very big deal out of it when Biden called Trump, or Biden called his vice president Trump, and on it goes. So again, this is Meidas Touch Network, who let's see how many views it's gotten in the last, what have been recording for 27 minutes here. So in 27 minutes, they've gotten, we started out at 96,500. Now this video has 116,500. So it gained 20,000 views in the last 27 minutes. That's how popular these yahoos are. I'll just say, that's how popular these propagandists are. And that's the game they're playing. They're lying to the public. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel. This is the Disturbing Illusion channel. Look at my pitiful numbers. Look, 49 minutes ago, 474 views. 7 hours ago, 3.5 thousand views. So we got to pierce through the darkness. Truth is the first casualty in any war, including this information war. Thank you for joining the Disturbing Illusion. Hit the like button, share it with everybody you know, and I'll see you guys in the next video.